In this video, we'll show you why you're going to want to use this new gear at your campsite. We'll demonstrate how many of these items can be used immediately after purchase, and for those DIY hacks, don't worry, you'll see how easy and simple those come together. When it comes to the quality of this gear, don't mistake affordability for subpar quality. These camping tools have been rigorously tested by the community. Plus, did I mention that most of them are designed to pack down small, saving you precious cargo space? Now, let's roll that beautiful bean footage. All right, so what you're looking at is your standard side table of a teardrop, but have you ever thought about cooking on it? So here we have a cast iron griddle, your standard Coleman 1-burner stove. This owner cut a hole in it, drop this in here, and now you have a permanent stove on the side. And for people like us with a small 4x8 with no water, no stove, now you have a permanent stove.
My name's Tim. I'm from Niagara, Wisconsin, northeast Wisconsin, right on the Michigan border. Just happy to run into Drew. Okay, this is my little shower system. I used to do this in a 5-gallon bucket, but by the time I got done heating half gallons of water, the first part was cold. So I decided to get an insulated bucket. I put a 12-volt pump inside. There's a fitting here for the hose. I didn't remove this. Anderson power pole to power the pump. And I've got a little step switch. It won't kill me if I'm stepping on it while there's power going through it. It's supposedly waterproof. I plug the end into here. This I set on the ground. Plug into my battery or my teardrop, whichever I happen to have.
It looks like you made this battery yourself, right?
I did, yep. That's a lithium, 100 amp hour lithium battery. I've built several now. They're a lot of fun to build. And I use Anderson power poles around my camper. I've replaced all the 12-volt cigarette plugs. So that's a big advantage. They don't fall out. They're easy to move around. They're lighter. Normally I would fill my solar bag in the morning when the sun's hitting the car, fill it up with 2 gallons of water, because that's all this is. Put it on the hood of the car and let it bake for a while, a couple hours, and then pour it into here.
And I'm seeing an advantage here. Keeping the water in the solar bag, once the sun's down, it loses its heat pretty quick.
Pretty quick.
You're throwing it in this insulated jug. How long is it staying warm in there?
Plenty long enough to get ready to shower. Sometimes I'll wait an hour or so and it'll still be warm enough. When you're camping, warm is better than ice cold, so any temperature is really good. This is not the greatest system, but I just slipped that on. It's got a couple rubber bands on it for now to keep it kind of snug so it doesn't leak. This, I have a small, one of those pop-up shower tents. You throw it in the air and it becomes a shower tent. And it's got a hook on the top. I connect this. We'll pretend that this is hot shower water. Pour in there. If you're going to wait a while, you could put a blanket over this and keep it warm for an hour or two. And I don't think Drew wants to get wet, but
Not yet anyways. Maybe I'll come here for my evening shower.
This will normally be on the floor inside my tent, and this will be at a convenient spot where I can step on it while I'm showering and then give it a step, and away you go. It's good enough to wash your hair and suds up, get yourself wet, shut it off, get lathered up, and then rinse. I find 2 gallons of warm water is more than enough to shower most times.
What do you think we have all in here for cost?
The jug is probably 10 or 12 bucks, I guess. The foot switch and the pump are eBay purchases, so you're probably talking 20 bucks total. This is part of the solar shower bag, came with it. But the key is this keeps the water warm while you're putzing around. If you lose track of your time, you you don't have to shower immediately. Where my 5-gallon bucket with no lid, the heat would be gone before I finish my final pot of water on the stove or in the bag.
Because I'm in the field right now, I'm not quite sure what this is called, but many of you have probably seen this. This is the new water jug from Dometic. I'm going to show you a much cheaper option here, but what's neat about this jug, as you know, a typical 5-gallon, 6-gallon jug, it's just really uncomfortable carrying around camp. So they made this about, I think it's like 4.5 gallons, just right to carry. And then you can add on this pump to get you water, and it's got this really nice flow with 2 pushes of a button and 1 to turn it off, and then there's a little light on here that turns on at night so you can see what you're washing. The thing with this though, it's built like a tank, so even with no water in it, it weighs a lot more than I would need it to weigh. And I can't remember how much this is. All of these combined, I think it's somewhere around like 130, 140. I'll flash the price on the screen, but there is a much better alternative here.
Drew wanted me to show you this hand washing station I dreamed up. I found this unit, I think, on eBay. It was a couple of years ago. It was probably 13 or 14 bucks shipped. Recharges USB cable, the older cable. It's kind of nice because it'll have a measured 600 milliliter pump and it'll shut itself off. That's kind of wasteful for just washing your hands, so it's got an on-off button as well. And always keep a hand washing soap nearby and a towel. And this is just a cat litter box that I thoroughly cleaned, so all was in there was basically cat litter clay.
So when this came out, or when you made this didn't even exist, I don't think, from Dometic.
I'm not sure. I've never seen this one before.
But it's uncanny. Like, look how similar these look.
Yep.
One of these is hundreds of dollars. This one is
15 bucks. You know, right now it might be a little bit more expensive, but.
So the issue I have with this one so far, and I don't know if others have it in the community, you tap twice for the water to go. Tap once for it to turn off. The issue I'm finding is once I wash my hands or do my dishes, the water that gets on this sensor, as you can see, I can't turn it back on. Look at this. So first question for you guys, is yours doing this? Second question, is yours doing this?
Nope. I can get as wet as possible. It's a mechanical button underneath, so it isn't reading a finger.
Exactly.
Like a laser type.
And then mine, this bottle's gonna squeeze if I don't open the vent here. How are you venting yours?
It's a semi-loose fit, so I think it just vents itself.
Air to not have any.
Yep. And I'm only pulling, you know, a cup of water at a time, so it doesn't seem to have any much of a vacuum. By the time I've shut it off and come back, it's already sucked enough air in there to make up for.
And I assume you could use some sort of collapsible system if you wanted with this, so it would take a lot less space than this. This thing is built to be ran over a tank. When there's no water in it, it feels like there's water in it, so I think it's overbuilt. I don't think we need that much. The only benefit I think I'm seeing here, if we look at both these flows, is this is a lower flow. So this is a strong flow, so you're gonna be going through water faster at camp. If you see these two going, I would say yours is almost double. A little more powerful, mine's more of a drip, right?
Yep.
But if you're at a campsite where water is limitless, or like us along a river and you're filtering it and putting it in here, that shouldn't be any issue. Thank you.
You bet, no problem.
Okay, Drew, I'm Linda. We're here at the Camp In, Camp Out, and you came and asked me about my solo stove and thought that I might like to talk about it, and I love talking about this thing. So it is a double-walled stainless steel fire pit, and it comes in all kinds of sizes. This one's called Bonfire, and I love this thing. It's my favorite splurge that I've gotten to go with my teardrop. I can start a fire in just a few minutes. I can keep a fire going in wind and rain, and the smoke goes straight up because of the engineering magic of this thing. I've got this ember screen, so tonight it's going to rain. I'm going to pull this fire pit in under my shelter and put up my sidewalls, and I'm going to be warm and comfy They continue evolving what the product can do, and they keep releasing accessories, and I buy every one of them. They have a cooking accessory that raises a cast iron grill or griddle or wok on here, and you can still feed the fire through the openings that it has in the accessory. They have this one is actually one I haven't purchased, but people who live up here full time will probably would want to. It's a radiant panel that prevents the heat from going up and keeps it down near your body. So, you know, all kinds of things. And then they also make a series for backpackers. So for the minimalist backpacking crowd out there, they make small ones that'll burn twigs or pellets, so you can boil your coffee on the trail.
So this is the original version.
It is the 1.0, correct.
And they just came out with a 2.0. What would be the difference?
As I understand it, you know, for me, when this burns down, and there's very little ash left, but there will be some, in order to get rid of it, I have to pick up the fire pit and dump the ash. The 2.0 has a removable ash pan in the bottom with a tool, so you can lift it out and just take the ash pan to go and dump.
Somebody was to get a deal on this, would you say still go for the one?
I would. I would. Just make sure you can lift it. So this is a Coleman, good old Coleman. These chairs are Coleman too. I think they call it a stool. You know, so you can, you know, put your feet up on it. But I like to use it as a side table. And it folds down. And it has a little zippered envelope, which is buried in my storage bin right now. But, you know, gets very small. And I love these things.
And I also see you're using my favorite coffee maker back there.
The AeroPress Go.
The little Go. We did a video highlighting that once.
Yeah, so I've already made my coffee. So, you know, I have put my grounds in here and my water. I've pressed through and made my coffee. But I can show you, you know, the magic that happens at the end, why this thing is so cleanup friendly. So now this is just, I mean, I may not even rinse that off. And you've got the coffee puck right there, and you just push this. Boom, done. Wipe it off. It's ready for tomorrow. I love it. No pieces that can break. Easy peasy.
And then the last thing, and definitely I'm saving the best for last, or the most unique.
Well, yeah, you asked me about modifications, and you know, I own a Camp Inn, so you know, you don't have to modify anything. But mine is a vintage. It's one of the early ones, number 34, and it had a cube television in here, which I don't use when I'm camping, and I didn't know what to do with that hole. And the worst part of the day for me is when I have to walk away from the campfire and say, you know, day is done. So I turned this into an indoor fireplace. I lined the cubby with fireproof insulation, put some metal roofing in there to make it look like a firebox. And I got these candles with wood wicks and a campfire scent. And when I light all three of these, I get a nice little crackle.
I can hear it.
But yeah, you heard it kind of initially, right? Yeah, and whoops, well, that didn't work.
And for you folks at home, safety, yes, of course.
Absolutely. My windows are cracked right now.
She's not sleeping with this on.
Correct.
Oh, that is so great. I can't imagine winding down with this, how great it would be.
It's fabulous. I mean, it's just fabulous. You know, sit there, read a book, you know, it's really wonderful.
Hi, my name is Paul. I'm from Crivets, Wisconsin. I built this table. It's basically out of one sheet of plywood. I used marine grade plywood just so it lasts better in the elements. And once it's all done, it all basically is flat. I put it underneath the mattress in my teardrop camper, so it doesn't take up any room. I use the same laminate on the top as I did on my teardrop for the countertop. That way it's easy cleanup, wipes off easy. And I put, I don't know, probably 8 coats of polyurethane on it to make it withstand the elements. I built it, oh, probably 10 years ago. It's held up pretty good. It's been rained on and put away wet and dried in the sun and gotten dirty and
I see everything here just slides together.
all slides together, yeah.
What about the seats?
They sit, actually the seats and the tabletop sit on dowels, so they stay put.
So there's no screwing of any sort.
No screwing, no. This is a Dutch oven holder. Basically it's an oil drain pan and just a metal holder that I made out of 3/8 steel rod. Heat it up, weld it together, it folds flat. That way I don't have to bend over to use my Dutch oven. And I built this quick little grill thing for the wood burner for cooking. Just something to, because a lot of places won't have the actual grates at the campsites. So I built that and I just slammed it in the ground. That chair I built probably pretty close to 25 years ago. And I originally built it for canoe camping. It's been in the waters, floated away. It folds within itself. Basically, boom, that thick.
Nice, I love this.
And yeah, it goes with me every time I go camping.
Although this is great gear to have, did you notice every one of these folks mentioned their gear often functioned best under some sort of awning or instant pop-up shelter at their campsite? If you don't have a quality shelter yet, you're going to want to watch this playlist right here. And don't forget to share in the comments your favorite camping hacks, DIY projects, and affordable camping gear. Stay safe out there, guys.